We're starting off a little bit earlier than we normally do today. Apparently there's something happening later this evening that means we have to finish on time, sporting-wise. So thank you all for coming to EC Forum Leeds. As always, these events are free. Hopefully you've not been charged any entrance fee today. If you have, if there's a guy been taking money outside, it's probably Neil. Kindly supported by our sponsors who keep these events free, pay for your food and drink and the venues. So a big thank you to those. They're all outside, well, not all, but most of them are outside where you had your breakfast and coffee, and that's also where lunch will be later. So do make sure you talk to them. As always, these events are run by volunteers, me being one. Quite a few of the others in the room. So do grab us if you see us. If you've got any feedback or suggestions for future meetings, then we are around all day, and we should all be wearing these nice, colourful shirts.
Shabs doing it by proxy.
Shabs is, yeah, a bit of a distance way. We've got the usual social accounts. If you want to connect with us on LinkedIn or X, or Twitter as I prefer to call it, or B2B, do hook up with us on there. These events are all driven by you guys, so they're all community sessions. We want you guys to talk about what you're doing, what's interesting, case studies, anything like that. Always go down really, really well. So do visit the website, and there's a submit your session button on there. Our next event is in November, so we're still looking for sessions for that in London. So we'd love to hear about what you're doing. Anything you see related. These events are all recorded. The big camera at the back might give you a clue there. We do have a YouTube channel where all the previous events are streamed. So do take a look. If you've missed any sessions, or if you missed sessions from previous events, they are all online for your enjoyment. As I mentioned, we do 3 events a year and a couple of socials. So what's left this year, we're going to have a networking social sometime in October, which will just be a few beers. And then the next winter meeting will be on the 24th of November. I think we're back at the, whatever it's called, Royal College of Surgeons of England, which is a really nice building. If you do come to that, make sure you visit the museum there, because it is insane. There's bottles of things that you wouldn't imagine in a museum. And lots of implements. As always, packed agenda today. Loads of content. Who did these slides? Fancy animations, Chris. Well done. Obviously, did you use Copilot to this? No. Oh. So at the end. There is a sporting event, so we will try and finish at 5 o'clock for that, so we can all go to the pub and hopefully enjoy the match. The agenda is all on an event app called Canopy. If you don't have that, scan the QR codes. There is a competition for people who provide the most feedback. There's a bit of a gamification in there, so do try and use that. It's how we gauge the feedback on the events and the sessions. I'm sure our presenters as well would also value your feedback. So please try and use the app. You can also post questions on the app as well. There is a feature to do Q&As if you want to ask anybody's speakers. Oh, animation. Chris, flying. Look at that. Self-promotion. I'm not sure that's allowed.
Scan my QR code.
So you can see who's presenting, who else is in there. Handsome chaps with too many E's in their name. As I say, we've got some post-event drinks and networking. We'll announce the venue later on today, so you don't all just bugger off at lunchtime and come back and go to the pub. So a bit of a carrot to get you to stick around for the rest of the day. So with that, we're going to go on to some vendor news. We're going to start with Microsoft. Over to Jim. Are you going to plug in your...
Yeah, if that's all right.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I'm all right.
I'm still technical.
What's the reason?
Hey folks, how's it going? I am the steering committee. I should have a shirt on like that, but I've got a shirt on like this because I'm currently representing Microsoft, not the community. Boo. Wow. So these are some of the Microsoft updates since April 2026, so the last time we had a meeting. Obviously not all, because there's been loads and loads of incremental improvements. I had a look at the what's new in Windows app, and it was like 3 pages of release notes. So I'm not going to go through all of those. So there is a lot more happening than I have on these slides. If you've got particular interest in one bit of technology, go and have a look at that. So the big news is that Windows 365 for Agents has been through public preview and GA, and now you can go and use it. So this is a specific feature for Windows 365, not AVD, that is designed around an agent to log onto that VM and not a human. So all of your regular telemetry, security, compliance, auditability, governance that you would get from Windows 365 with a human also applies to agents. But now there's more to that as well. So you can go create an agent, you can hire somebody else's agent, and you can run it on Windows 365.
Why is that the biggest news, Jim?
Why is that the biggest news? I don't know. It's just the biggest news. It's objectively the biggest news. Also, I am working in that product group. So I might be slightly biased. If you do want to try out Windows 365 for Agents, there is a extremely rich computer using agent MCP, if you know what an MCP is, and that is a lot of fun. Slightly less big news is that there's been a product rename. So Windows 365 Frontline becomes Windows 365 Flex. One of the reasons I pulled this out is because the Frontline name caused a huge amount of confusion, because people associate Frontline with doctors and policemen and etc. Flex is a much better name. We had the trademark on that before other companies. We just weren't using it. But essentially, it should make it easier to describe to your customers if you're talking about Windows 365 Flex. There's been a huge amount of improvements to cloud apps. This enhanced user experience we've been working on for a couple of years, and it's trying to make that remote app experience as like local as possible. So Windows Snap, full screen mode, proper DPI handling, and refined visuals. So we've put a huge amount of effort into making a remote app look as identical as humanly possible to a locally installed app. So that is currently in preview. Okay,
Is that coming to AVD?
yes, because
It's the same.
yeah, it's the same essentially. So about 60% of all work that we do in Windows Cloud accrues to both AVD and Windows 365. Whether it's back-end optimizations, whether it's client work, whether it's telemetry, whether it's security, all of that is now one set of code for both products. So it's far easier to do nowadays. We combined the product groups a little while ago, And we're really seeing the fruits of that because anything that can be combined is now already combined and worked on as a single piece of code across both products. So it's much easier to accrue benefits across both. For Windows 365, mixed Microsoft hosted and customer provided networks in one provisioning policy. This was always used to be a problem because you used to have two provisioning policies if you wanted to have MHN and ANC for your environment. Azure Virtual Desktop on Azure Local. So again, this is an interesting new deployment model. This is in public preview. Effectively, you can take any VM hosted on any hypervisor, and as long as Azure Arc will install on that VM, then you can use it as part of AVD. You're looking confused, Guy?
It doesn't take much. But no, I'm trying to think, isn't that Azure hybrid? Isn't it Azure local, Azure hardware on-prem, or on-premises, as sometimes we say. Whereas hybrid is you can run it on any hypervisor. I thought you just described hybrid.
I did just describe hybrid, and that's fine. I will change that slide.
Oh, right, okay, thank you. No, I was just getting, that's why I look confused.
That's good. I like that confusion. That helps. Azure hybrid in public preview. Yeah, so essentially, as long as Azure Arc will install on that VM, then you're good to go. Which means that if you've got latency-sensitive workloads, or other reasons to keep a VM on premises, then you are good to go.
It's not licensed for physical Windows 11 on-prem.
Sorry?
It's not licensed for Windows 11 physical.
It's not licensed for Windows 11 physical, and it's not licensed for Windows 11 multi-session either. Dynamic auto scale. So this went GA 2 days ago, or yesterday. So previously, if you wanted to scale up your pool, you'd have to deploy your VMs first up to your maximum number. And then as you needed the VMs, they would boot, and then you could log on to each of the VMs. Dynamic auto scale means that you can now provision VMs rather than just boot them as demand comes along. Obviously, provisioning is slightly slower than booting, so just be careful about your rate of increase in terms of those VMs. But it means you won't pay for the additional storage for VMs that are not being used. Because previously people would say, right, well, what's my max possible? Add an extra 10 or 20% for safety. And you would have VMs sitting on storage that never booted, were difficult to keep patched if they're never booted. And you're also paying for storage that you never use. So this is a way to avoid that. So Sessionals configuration, Sessionals management, ephemeral disks, and autoscale all combined to give you this dynamic autoscale. You can now also buy Windows 365 for Business direct from the Windows 365 website. So the reason I pull this out is because if you're going into a customer, you may now find that different business units have purchased Windows 365 with a credit card, which will make your lives loads of fun. But effectively for Microsoft, it's lowering the barrier to entry to get on board with Windows 365. Windows 365 for Business is super simple to run, super simple to admin. So for those SMB customers who want to get on board, then that's a good option for them. Last slide. Built-in admin account disabled during provisioning by default now. So Microsoft is always trying to improve the security. And this is part of that flow. This sort of thing will keep on happening as we, from telemetry, see what are the vulnerabilities in people's estates. Obviously, you can enable it if you really want to do so, but now it's disabled by default. So just be careful if you've got automations which assume that you can use that local admin account and you haven't enabled it deliberately, then you may have trouble with those automations because it's now disabled by default. You can now restart your Cloud PC directly from the Windows app. Obviously, self-service for recovery and trying to reduce the number of support tickets. And the last part here is there is new geos available for Windows 365 Link. We were lucky enough that the UK was one of the first geos available. So we've always had it since launch. But if you're working for a company that is also in one of these areas, you can also buy Link locally for those geos. And that is my 10 minutes Microsoft update. And I will go and change my shirt.
Hot swap of devices. Next up is Citrix, who are dialing in, so I need to dialing in. You can see how old I am, right?
Professor Walker.
When you actually dialed to join things on the internet. Right. Join the old Teams call. Oh, get him on the right screen. Hello, Nathaniel, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, everyone.
I can hear
Oh.
you now.
Yep, let me just change your audio, 1 second. Helps if I plug the actual thing in. Okay, can you say hello again, Nathaniel?
Yep.
There we go. Lovely. Get you on the right screen.
Hello, Chris.
Okay, you can all wave. I'm gonna. There we go. Awesome. So I'm gonna. I'll leave you on mute for now. We'll take questions at the end if there are any. But away you go.
Okay. Thank you very much, Neil, and thanks all for letting me zoom in remotely for this. I do usually love being there in person for the EUC Forum events, but the previous two haven't worked well for me. But I'm glad we can still zoom in for a little update on Citrix, what's new and what's next. I won't take much time here, just have a few slides to run through. As always, we're excited about the new versions coming out of our CVAD software. Citrix current release 2603 is available now, and the improvements in there are broadly into three focus areas, three categories that you'll see if you're able to use 2603 in your environments. Cost optimization, of course, always a priority for enterprise customers and all sorts of industries. But of course, it's particularly relevant now with skyrocketing hardware costs, devices becoming more and more expensive, wanting to find other opportunities, perhaps on the software side of things, to optimize and reduce costs. So more detail on that in a second. Admin efficiency, of course, the other kind of cost other than dollars is your operational costs, your admins managing their environment. This is part of why Citrix is so widely used. It is equipping the IT teams to deliver high quality EUC across their environments and doing that efficiently. So more detail of that. And then constantly trying to build up the end user experience, ultimately making that remote desktop like local is the vision for it, that there is no difference between your local device or using your remote desktop over HDX. So a bit more detail about each of those. In 2603 cost optimization, we're continuing to build out our Citrix Advisor, including Adrian and more AI enhancements in optimizing your costs, monitoring it, using our features like session recording to evaluate the cost of each session, building out our analytics software to prioritize recommendations to you, optimizing deployment health, but of course deployment cost being the most important thing. Again, particularly relevant when you're running in the cloud operations, in a cloud hyperscaler environment, keeping those VDA costs down. So Citrix Advisor. Continue to build out the integration with Uber Agent. You'll recall that this was one of our acquisitions last year, the agent monitoring, initially just being for end devices, but more and more building in that functionality for your infrastructure. So gathering more of that session, machine, application performance data, and bringing it unified into Director and Monitor. Until now, you have required a Splunk subscription as well to go with Uber Agent, but we understand that being an extra cost that have to bring on to use this, and so bringing more of that into the Citrix portal itself, into Director and Monitor for that full end-to-end visibility. And then building out the app protection side of things. Again, this coincides with our acquisition of Device Trust last year, bringing up more of that policy-based protection, and then adding more and more detail, more and more options for activating those risk detection side of things. So that's on the cost optimization side of things. Admin efficiency, a lot of stuff coming in this area for you. More functionality around building service windows, maintenance windows for your MCS provisioned VMs, resource filtering, giving more functionality on accessing which users can view which resources in their delivery groups, kind of RBAC based functionality. So maybe you can give your support engineers in one region access to a certain set of delivery groups, give them a different region, a different set of access. The Task Center, this is a new view in Web Studio, which again, those long-running tasks of building or distributing images, doing hardware updates, OS disk resets, things like that, can be tracked in one place in Citrix Web Studio. Of course, Adrian, this is our AI agent, is now built in directly in Web Studio and Director. I think currently only on Citrix Cloud, but coming in the future to on-prem as well. And is one of the highlights in 2603. And then continuing to build up the Microsoft Entra SSO, this is crucially without FAS functionality. I think I've talked about this multiple times at EUC forums. It's now GA. I think I talked about that in November of last year. But building out more and more use cases where that can be used. So in this case, in 2603, just building out the functionality to configure it directly in Web Studio rather than having to use scripts or other functionality to set it out. So admin efficiency in 2603. And then finally, as I say, building out the end user experience, building out a local experience for users. So improved all the time, improving in our HDX protocol, the graphics enhancements, in 2603 to build out those multi-monitor, improved visual quality kind of features, and then the general availability of that super resolution for sharper image clarity. Accessibility settings sync. This is about your local device. If you have certain accessibility settings applied, like dark mode and high contrast, those will automatically funnel through to your remote desktop as well, having a consistent experience, so you don't start in one set of accessibility tools and then have to reconfigure them within the remote desktop. Citrix snipping tool, just simple, allowing screenshots, but allowing you also to do that in situations where there is browser content redirection, optimized teams within the session where we're offloading some of the functionality to the local machine, and yet it can still all be captured, just improving those that functionality, and of course still controlled by all of your policies around what can be protected, what can be copied in and out of the VDA. And then of course continuing to build on our partnership with Microsoft to upgrade the built-in virtual camera for broader app compatibility. So again, closer to native camera experience, like local, is the goal. So if you haven't seen 2603, that's just a little flavor of some of what has been included in that latest release. Do try it out, do give feedback to us. Everything that we work on is built on customer feedback. And so we love hearing from yourselves, from partners, and from customers and end users about the functionality. That's 2603. The other thing I wanted to briefly talk about was XenServer, Citrix XenServer 9 coming soon. Of course, the hypervisor market has changed for a long time. I think we've probably heard that Citrix was dead. The name changes didn't help with that. But we've been seeing huge uptake of XenServer, people making use of their existing entitlements in the face of huge costs coming in from Broadcom and VMware. And so we're really excited to launch a new platform, Citrix Zen Server 9, coming soon. I say coming very, 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 very soon, as in maybe you'll get an email this week about this. Zen Server 9 coming soon. And brings a sort of suite of new enhancements in there. Significant investment in performance. Again, when we're seeing customers making that migration from other hypervisors like VMware onto Zen Server, sometimes VM density becomes a blocker, but Zen Server 9 really addresses a lot of that, bringing optimizations related to NUMA into the hypervisor so that you can tailor your workloads for the hardware underneath. But beyond comparing to other hypervisors, Zen Server has often led the way on things like security, and so continuing to invest in that area. Things like secure boots, UEFI being the default for hosts and VMs right off the bat, and other hardening, disabling certain functionality, console access, SSH access, things like that to improve the security posture of it. Modernizing the virtualization stack, this is the fundamentals of the hypervisor. So things like taking the latest version, of course, of the Zen open source hypervisor that Zen Server is built on, but also the DOM0 control domain used in Zen Server. Previously, we used a off-the-shelf operating system for that. Now we have our own custom-built operating system, which we fully control. We build from the very Linux kernel code. We choose exactly what modules should be inside there. And of course, this relates back to the security point. We have complete control over what is in there. Often, if a security advisory comes out, we'll go and check our operating system and see, well, we don't even have that kernel module installed. We're protected against it at a fundamental level. Modernized virtualization stack. And then some more operational improvements, driver multi-version, making those driver updates easy by allowing you to have multiple drivers available within the host so that when a new one comes out, you can try it out. If there are any problems, it's just one click to drop back to the previous one, not requiring a complete uninstall and reinstall. So that's Zen Server 9. As well, do also check it out. We're seeing the hypervisor market change with the VMware acquisition, with skyrocketing costs even from cloud usage. On-prem is becoming more and more of an option again. I think we've seen this even over the last few years at EUC forums, where we see sometimes talks related to repatriation or other activities. So both CVAD 2603 gives you the choice to launch to run where you are, but Citrix Zen Server 9 gives a platform if you are considering on-prem as well. But that's what I've had prepared. I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there in person with you to share this, but do reach out to me by email or on LinkedIn here. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take those. But I look forward to being with you again, hopefully for the future UC forums in November.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Any questions, Nathaniel, from the room? No? Lovely. Well, thanks for your time, Nathaniel. Hopefully see you in November.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.
Take care, man. Take care. Bye-bye. That was a cool quality. Yeah, it was good. There we go. Thanks for the feedback.
Rush out and get Zen Server now.
Okay. Oh, we do have the Omnissa. There you go. Using your laptop, yeah?
Yes.
Lovely. I can unplug. There you go.
Where's your legs?
I didn't think wearing shorts would be appropriate, but maybe next time.
It's the only reason we sat at the front.
No comment.
It was quite off-putting.
Got a spare one.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Of course, I'm going to have AV issues.
The opposite of what I just said.
Turn it off and on again.
Is there any IT support in the room?
I know, can you imagine?
If only been running Zen Server 9.
Well, I might actually speak about hypervisors today. They won't be Zen Server though.
Something's happening.
I unplugged it.
Do you have a different adapter?
Oh, there we go.
Here we go.
Just needed to plug in and plug in again. Oh. Shall I just talk?
We could put that to the previous screen. Let's go full screen.
Resolution maybe?
No idea. Let's just do this.
Yeah.
So, good morning, everyone. My name's Carl. I am a solution architect. Oh my God! Is it just HDMI on this? What does everything else do?
Yeah, just this one.
Can I unplug the HDMI and stick it straight in?
Cracked it, mate. Cracked it.
Is that it? We're doing it?
Yeah.
Good go.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name's Carl. I am a solution architect at Omnissa. I've been at Omnissa about a year now. Prior to that, I did a brief stint at Citrix, about 14 months, 5.5 years at AWS, running partner strategy globally and for EMEA EUC. And then before that, I led Softcat's pre and post sales EUC practice. I know a few faces in the room, but this is actually my first EUC forum as an attendee or a speaker. So, hello, everyone. I hope to come to some more. And yeah, let's get going. As I said, I've been with Omnissa about a year. Omnissa as a company is just going into its second full financial year of existence. Really briefly, for those who don't know, we were VMware EUC. Broadcom thought we were an ugly child, so they got rid of us, and we were purchased by KKR. In that period, we've been trying to set ourselves up as an independent company with its own vision, its own strategy, with very little dependencies on others to achieve the goals that we and our customers and our partners want to achieve. So that's just a little bit of context. I'm actually going to talk about hypervisors a little bit deeply, but I want to set the scene a little bit. We have two Horizon products, which are fundamentally separate products. We have Horizon 8 and we have Horizon Cloud. Horizon 8 is on-premise. It is self-managed. It does all the things that you'd want a broker, a control mechanism to do. Horizon Cloud is managed by us. It's a DAS control plane. We manage all the updates. It's SaaS. It does all the things that it should do. On-premise is available as a term license. Cloud is available as SaaS. There is integration between the two. Horizon Cloud can manage Horizon 8 on-premise, and it can manage multiple instances of Horizon premise. I assume in this room, most of you are probably going to know and understand most of that, but I wanted to set the scene for this next slide, which is pretty important. As you can imagine, as Nathaniel at Citrix says, we don't want to be reliant on Broadcom doing stupid things with vSphere, stupid things contractually. We would like to be master of our own destiny and therefore support as many platforms as we can to run desktop workloads on. Now, I don't actually know how much of this I'm supposed to share. I didn't get permission to share this, but I'm sharing it anyway.
I'm taking a photo there.
Yeah, there you go. And it's probably being live streamed and I might get fired, but there we go. So the dark colors, what you can see is what we support now, and it is what we support in a fully featured deployment. There will be feature differences between what each platform can do, but we'd view that as a fully supported, fully active deployment. The pink is what we can support as a platform if you manually configure desktops. You install the Horizon Agent on them, you add them into a pool, and you can broker them to your users. The green is what we've got coming next. Just going back to the pink, we imagine the pink will end up being dark blue. Eventually, it will become fully featured. The green is what we will come next, or what we will develop next, or is in development. Now, there is a lot on there, and a couple of them have only just made it to this slide. The most recent development that we've had is HP Morpheus, so VMA. But this is our intention. And if any other platforms start to gain traction, we would like to add them quickly. Now, I don't see outside of here, anything else that I think we should be targeting? Not Zen Server. I'm surprised no one says Proxmox yet, because that does get mentioned a lot, specifically in Europe. But it's not something. The good thing with Proxmox is it is just KVM underneath. We're supporting a lot of KVM-based hypervisors. I can't believe that's just happened.
They found out that slide was not coming.
They did. They did. They did. The satellite's gone. No. I should have done. I should have stayed at home. Like, the problem is I live in Wakefield, so I can't get away with dialing in. Oh God. Okay. So there will be uniqueness between what Horizon Cloud supports and what Horizon 8 supports. Our intention is for both the cloud and the on-prem products to support both on-prem storage locations, hypervisor locations, and cloud storage hypervisor locations. There will be nuances. I tend to get a lot of questions about this. Does anyone have any comments before I move on?
Why was the Proxmox decision made? Because you're right. I think we're all getting lots of requests about it.
So if you speak to our product management in the US, it doesn't seem to exist as much in the US as it does in EMEA, in Europe. So the decision was made that it's not in enterprises. It's running in a lot of people's garages because we all have home labs, right? And we all do various things on there. But in enterprise, we do not see it,
Okay, so it's
specifically in the US.
opportunity driven. So if enterprises do start using it, it'll be
Correct, yeah. I personally have a couple of public sector customers in Ireland who are chasing Proxmox as their hypervisor to replace vSphere. Every time we get one, we tag it to the RFP and not the RFP, the feature request, and then we see where that goes fundamentally. Any more comments before I move on?
Just a curiosity, how much of your customer base now is not on vSphere in the last 2 years?
In the last 2 years, most of them have probably stayed. We have a couple who have moved to Nutanix AHV. They may have had a small Nutanix deployment already. They may have had Nutanix with vSphere on top of it, and they feel more comfortable moving. Most of the customers we see are trying their best to renew Broadcom for a short term and failing, but they are in the process of looking at alternatives, running POCs. I have a number of POCs running for AHV. I have one that's about to kick off for the Red Hat one in a couple of weeks. And some people are looking to move to cloud natively, or at least put some workloads in cloud. We can still provide vSphere licenses, so you can separate Broadcom out of the equation if you can buy VVF from us. That comes with its own challenges around vSAN and storage requirements. So those who can continue to procure VVF through us probably do. Those who can't are actively looking to move to a different hypervisor or do a hybrid cloud migration, something like that. Get your hands up.
Is it feature parity between multi-GN and hypervisor?
There is some. The question I usually get asked is they all support instant clones. Instant clones is a VMware technology, although it was paid for by UC back in the day. It's still a VMware technology. We will have a cloning technology native to whatever platform we integrate with, which should offer similar functionality, but we leverage the hypervisor tools rather than us developing something bespoke and unique. Anything that's dark blue should be pretty much there or thereabouts in terms of features. As I said, anything that's pink is you manually build the desktops and put an agent on it. Right, I don't want to talk about hypervisors anymore.
Sore subject.
It just causes a lot of pain. We go talk to customers, and as I say, we try to talk about what we can do, how we can help them, and then Broadcom stamps on his toes, and it hurts, fundamentally. 1 minute? Oh my God. Okay, Universal Broker. So we, again, like to take things, we don't want to rely on global site load balancing. If people build out across multiple data centers, we want to give them a native offering. That native offering is Universal Broker. It's part of Horizon Cloud. That will allow people to put in a URL, custom or one that we provide, and by a bunch of different metrics point them to the data center which is most suitable for them, or if there's been a DR event, point them to the other data center. That gets rid of things like GSLB as a requirement. We are about to launch a beta for Mac as an agent, so you'll be able to present Mac OS machines through Horizon Cloud, physical machines that are running on Apple Silicon. Bunch of stuff there. Let's keep going. Workspace ONE. We could manage pretty much every single device that you could think of in the past, from mobile, rugged, physical, virtual, wearables, IoT, doesn't matter what it was, we could manage it, with the exception of servers. We didn't have a story for servers. We have this quarter launched server management in GA. It's fully featured server management. It could do Windows servers 2016 and upwards. It does updates, patching, application deployment, inventory, Windows Server roles, and features. Just like Microsoft, we've released a bunch of stuff in the last 6 to 12 months. Some to call out there is we've released a new vulnerability defense product, which you can integrate with CrowdStrike and get Workspace ONE to do automated actions on. We've launched Secure Access Suite, which is a tie-in with Google Chrome Enterprise. We've versioned app volumes to allow VMDK to VHD packaging, which ties into the hypervisor story, make apps mobile, deploy them across wherever you are, physical, cloud, on-prem, all different hypervisors. And we've also launched an AI assistant, which I don't want to talk about. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Let's back in. So we've got a bit of a round the grounds on all the other vendors, which we used to do ourselves. Now we do it the lazy way and just get everybody to send us their videos. So let's. Well, it was working before.
I blame Apple. They polluted the HDMI cable.
Yeah, fine. It's not happy, is it? Well, you might be listening to the the sponsor videos.
One of them's just audio, just music though. So it'd be like a bit off.
Let's do the turn it off and back on again thing. That always works. There we go. Oh,
That is interesting.
we've got oh yes, there's two projectors. We've got the second one on.
Whoa, that is cool.
That's a lot brighter than this one as well. It's dazzling me. There we go. Right. Let's stand. Put this back into.
It does start. Don't panic.
IT teams today are being asked to do the impossible. Support a hybrid workforce that expects seamless access anywhere. Keep desktops secure, performant, and compliant no matter where users connect. All while controlling ballooning Azure costs and proving ROI to the business. That means more manual work, more risk, and less time for strategic initiatives. What IT needs is a different approach. one that unifies, simplifies, and optimizes Microsoft Cloud environments without sacrificing control or compliance. That's where Nerdio Manager for Enterprise comes in. Running entirely inside your Microsoft Azure tenant, Nerdio delivers automation, AI-powered autoscaling, and enterprise-grade governance. It reduces costs, streamlines operations, strengthens security, and proves value with measurable outcomes. Nerdio transforms the Microsoft Cloud into a platform that works harder, smarter, and more securely for your business. Ready to take control of your Microsoft environment? Visit getnerdio.com today to explore, demo, and start your journey.
Good anything.
Access IT Automation, empowering enterprise teams to move from legacy to the cloud with automation and confidence. Access Capture is our REST API framework and end-to-end application management platform. Discover, package, test, and publish applications, supporting all formats. Access Capture does the heavy lifting. Today, we are launching Capture Shift. Capture Shift, Module 5 of Access Capture. It fully automates your SCCM to Intune application migration at scale with complete RAG visibility, dependency mapping, migration jobs, and a full audit trail. What used to take months now takes weeks. Clarity, control, confidence. From Access IT Automation.
Digital workspace management solutions for all leading platforms. One powerful solution for user and app management. Profile Unity with FlexApp. Stay ahead of IT issues and prevent disruptions with Stratosphere UX. Moving on from Microsoft App V, modernize app delivery with FlexApp. Moving to Windows 365 or Microsoft AVD, Profile Unity and FlexApp power modern desktop transformation.
I can say that without FlexApp, the IT department experience won't be as nice as it is.
Come visit Liquidware at our booth.
Improved security posture, lower endpoint costs, consistent user experience, lowering complexity, and eliminating endpoint sprawl are all benefits of the Tenzig solution stack. Tenzig offer a wide range of thin and zero-client hardware, with form factor options including standalone, laptop, and all-in-ones, as well as many connectivity and operating system options. Tenzig Repurp OS is our secure Linux OS to transfer the exact same secure, high-performance Tenzig user experience to third-party PCs, laptops, and thin clients. This enables a single vendor endpoint experience across native Tenzig hardware and third-party hardware. We look forward to seeing you today at EUC Forum, where you can arrange your free demo or take Repurp OS away to test today.
EUC Forum, Rory Monahan from Numescent, and here's what's new with us. We've made automating the packaging of apps into cloud paging containers even easier with AI packaging support for MSIs. Together with Citrix, we announced integration with Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktops, App Packages feature, and Cloud Pager, enabling Citrix customers to streamline provisioning of cloud paging containers as published applications. Also announced was MSX container optimization in Cloud Pager, which can improve the performance of MSIX delivery and enable the use of features like our unique Cloud Pager policies for MSIX applications and more. Well, I have more I could share, but that's all the time we have to cover. So if you want to hear more from us, check out our booth.
Hi, I'm Neve from Enterprise Solutions. It's a pleasure to support the EUC community and lovely to see our partners here today, including Login VSI and Numescent. Enterprise Solutions are EUC specialists and started the company almost 28 years ago in Ireland and now also have a UK office. We aim to create secure, modern workspaces that simply work efficiently and securely. Enterprise Solutions are long-standing Citrix partners, and we currently hold 3 partnerships, which include Platinum, Preferred Services and CSP. We have a deep technical understanding of Citrix, and we have also helped customers with economical license renewals in recent months. Drop by our stand to talk to the team about application delivery or anything Citrix.